wrote to me saying he was going to throw himself in the Treveni if we beat beat Italy. And there you can see we beat Italy, hands down, in fact. Not just Italy, that includes Holland, Belgium, and Greece, and Italy, all added together. We still beat the whole lot of them. Oh, dear. Should be ashamed of themselves. Even Sankirtan Dam, which is like one of the most streamlined Sankirtan groups in Europe. There are not so many of them, maybe, but even there we beat. We had a total of 35,500, so 3,000 points more than the total bunch there. Good, huh? Let's get rid of that one. And this is ours, our totals, as you can see there. 35,503 book points. Congratulations, everyone, for working together to distribute lots and lots of books. Thank you. I know where we're going here. Ashtakam, I hope this is the right one. Yes, it is. Okay. What can you see? Slide. Now we'll probably have the same problem we had yesterday. And how did we get out of this one? I can't remember. Our Vidura was. I've forgotten how we did it yesterday. We got out of this screen somehow. Huh? Pardon? We got to get out of this system. It was quite easy. It was just one button. I knew there was one button that we press.
Here on these 3 points?
No, it's up here. But you've got to go from this screen here to...
Custom show?
No, it's nothing to do with this. It's up here somewhere. How do we get there now?
Present review.
Where?
No.
Yeah, if we go there, maybe where the button comes up. No. No, that's no good. There's one button up here that says reverse the screens. Custom show. Oh God, where is it gone? There's the buttons up here. We have to find those buttons up there. The buttons on the computer, but they're not coming up. Okay, we'll just have to buff our way through with what we got. That's all I can say. It was real easy yesterday when we realized what to do, but I forgot. Well, it's back to front. But this on the screen, we see when you open up the slideshow. Slideshow, play from current flow. You look at the screen. This should be on that screen, and that should be on that screen. Okay. There was something up there. We pressed one button, boom, it reversed itself. But you can't. Oh yeah, he worked on there. See, you've got to get on that screen. That's how it works. How do you get on that screen? Yeah, you've got to go up there. There you go. Reverse display. There you go. That was it. It was so easy. But see, you can't see it on here. That's why. Simply, if you can all remember that, because this happens every time. I have no memory for these things. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just a few slides of Prabhupada. Kirtan, ISKCON Kirtan. Early days there, of course, in New York. Om Jnana Timrandasya Ganandhyana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Papitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamayam Dadati Shvapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Guru Navaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Anvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, how many devotees need a translation? Is Alison here? Judd? She'll need a translation. Who else needs translations? Please tell us. And Alison also needs translation. Is Alia translating for Alison? Okay, you okay with that? I know it's best to put it online, but this is not just going online here, it's going online elsewhere too. To Australia, to here and there and everywhere. So if we can manage like that, this special day. Is there anything on the calendar today? Any events? No special events. Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Is the screen a little bit too far angled? It's very angled. Usually it's a little squarer, isn't it? Very angled. Anyone over there can see nothing. That means the projector is very angled too. Normally the projectors where Gauranataraj is, the screen's a bit more square, usually. Otherwise, if anyone else comes in, they can't see it.
They won't be able to see well from there.
They will. That's enough. That should be okay. Now, just to maybe adjust the projector or not. I don't know if it's okay still. Give a little bit more view to devotees over there. Okay. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyavadi Pastyachadishatarine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyavadi. And one thing is, all the men are sort of in the front. Normally we have a program where the men sit this side and the ladies sit that side. I don't know if that's changed, but that's usually what we do. So if you can move over this way or like that. And if some ladies do want to sit forward, please come forward. Plenty of room up here. I think there's some. Well, the ladies are at the back. Anyway, there's not so many devotees. We should be okay. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Oh, only one more to go. Maybe in a minute, yeah. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya, Prabhupada. Go Premanandi. Prabhupada ki jai. And we won't be able to show the videos even if you find them because we have no sound system to connect to. So, what to do? Hopefully in the future these problems will be sorted. So this morning, what should we do between breakfast and Arti? Arti is at 12:30, class is at 1, but breakfast will be 9:30. So between 9:30 and 12, or say 10:30. We have Kirtan or what? Kirtan? Kirtan, okay, good. So we were going to show these videos this morning, but not going to work. You can just see, but you won't hear.
Maybe we can see just.
We have a.
Not much interesting seeing. I mean, it's okay, but we've seen some of it.
If you want, Maharaja, we have a little speaker, so later in the morning.
Well, we tried that yesterday, but it didn't work very well.
Maybe the later. We tried yesterday, so we should put it.
We had to use another computer yesterday. It wasn't compatible with this one. Okay, well, we'll go on, and at least we can sing together. Now, as the sun is not right where it's rising, we can't see it. It's like Krishna, he's here, but we can't see him. You see? Yeah, on the altar, but even there, how much we can see. With our covered eyes, Krishna's very kind, and he's reciprocating. But in general, in the material world, Krishna is everywhere, but we forget. Seeing is not just a visual effect, it's a conscious remembrance. And we forget that Krishna is present everywhere. And the Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement is to remind us, and not just remind us, but a program, a life whereby we can develop the vision. By the grace of Krishna, he cleanses our hearts. Cheto darpana marjanam. The Lord cleanses our heart when we remember him. When we chant remembering him, then the Lord cleanses our heart of all the dust which is covering our vision. So this is the Sankirtan movement. Krishna's already there, but our consciousness is covered, so we're not aware of his presence in everything. Or to speak of our relationship with him on the personal level, even on the, you could say, the pervasive level, we're not even aware of him on that level practically. But he's everywhere. So just like now, the sun is risen, we can't see the sun, we see the clouds, but we see some of the effect of the rising sun. There's light. Not much heat, but some, but mostly light. So something is there in the dawn. At dawn, when the sun rises, it's not visible, but there's the rays of the sun are lighting up the sky, removing the darkness of night. So similarly, this song of Bhakti Vinod Thakur Arunodaya Kirtan. And this is the rising sun. Kirtans at the rising of the sun. There's mountain. And New Govardhan. Who's been to New Govardhan in Australia? He joined in New Govardhan. And Lochan was also there. You were there. You've been to New Govardhan. You've been there, Gandharvika. You haven't taken your wife to Australia yet. Goodness. Maybe you should come with us on a Tuesday. No. Soon. But there's the mountain there. Mount Warning it's called, huh?
Yes.
They call it Udayagiri. At least that's what Atmatattva Prabhu called it. Why? Because in the whole of Australia, the peak of that mountain is the first place where the sunrise strike in the whole of Australia. The peak of that mountain. And it's right behind we're on the slopes of this mountain. So this rising sun in our heart, the sun, Krishna Surya Sam, Maya Haya Andakara. Krishna is compared in the sense to the sun. Wherever the sun is, there cannot be darkness. Wherever there's Krishna, there cannot be Maya. This is a song by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and we'll sing it. We don't sing bhajans very often here, right? Not very often. Not since Agni Dev Prabhu left. He would, even in Kirtan Melas, he would sing bhajans. Everyone else is singing Hare Krishna, he'll be singing bhajan. It's very, no different. Prabhupada said they are expansions of the holy name, non-different than the holy name. And they're also giving us the guidance or the directions how to chant the holy name with the right consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement was to envelop or to embrace all living entities, not just humans even, all living entities, in associating with the holy name, Krishna. That's another form of Krishna which we really, rarely remember. That Krishna, Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, he is non-different than the name. In the material world, the name is relative to the object. There's a chair. Okay, when you say chair, you may remember a chair, but you don't have a chair. It's related, it's a description or a title of that object, but it's not, it is different than the object. It just describes it. In the spiritual world, the name itself is that which is described. There's simultaneous one and difference. It's different aspects of the same, personality in the case of Krishna. So when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is fully present, Binat Van Namanamino. He's fully present, whereas in the material world, the thought may come, but you will not quench your thirst by chanting water, water, water. In fact, you'll become thirstier. You will not get a chair because someone may bring it, but in of itself, by saying, I need a chair, a chair, a chair. The chair will not come. Maybe some mystic yogi can do that, but generally speaking, no. Hare Krishna. Merci beaucoup. So Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement is absolute. It's not another. Most people think this Sankirtan movement is another thing going on. Some weird people chanting some weird songs, playing some weird instruments, dancing in weird ways, like drunkards, practically. Although if you stay long enough, you'll see that's not the case. But for someone who flashes by, they might see it like that. Isn't it? I mean, you might put yourself back before you ever heard of Hare Krishna. And many devotees have said this when they first saw the Harinam party. Even Kadamba Maharaj used to turn his nose up every time he passed by them in Amsterdam. Crazy people. He had no idea what was behind it at that point. It's not. It doesn't look like it's the highest or the form of, if you want to use the word religion from one perspective, or philosophy, or even higher than that, the highest level of consciousness. It doesn't look like it. Devotees sometimes are dressed in odd ways. I mean, the dress itself is odd, but even within that, they dress oddly. You know, the dhoti on back to front or something, or one leg up to your hip almost, and you know, sometimes you see devotees with their dhotis all hooked up, you know, and they don't notice it, and half their leg is exposed, or the sari is like all over the place, almost falling off. And the tilak looks like, you know, you used a paintbrush to put it on or something. Right? And wearing odd clothes, and some weird dress, unmatching, some old beaten up boots on your feet. Sometimes you see devotees with some beaten up trekking boots or some Wellington boots sometimes, these rubber boots that you wear in the mud, you know. I've seen devotees on Harinam with those also. Sometimes they go out barefoot. I've seen that one quite often. Of course, there's other ways of looking at odd shoes. There's a very dear friend of mine who likes to wear odd shoes on Harinam Sankirtan. For another reason, slightly different than, not because he's not aware that he's wearing odd shoes. It's a preaching tactic. A preaching tactic. You'd be surprised. With very colorful attire. But in general, we look from different people's perspective, little odd. Little odd. Because they don't know. They don't know what's behind it. They sing another song, don't like it, whatever. Relative, they see it relatively speaking, according to their conditioning. But the Sankirtan movement is beyond conditioning, it's beyond duality. We may still be affected by duality, therefore we're not fully, you could say, representing Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan. But we're trying. So something is there. By the mercy of the Vaishnavas, they accept our efforts. And in this way, one can gradually enter into the Sankirtan movement. And actually realize that there's no difference. The Sankirtan movement, as we mentioned, I didn't get it quite right yesterday. I don't want to lose this, but I'll read the quote later anyway. Prabhupada was referring to the relationship between the Sankirtan movement and the Rasa Leela in the spiritual world. Like the sun gradually rises, so the Sankirtan will gradually rise in the sky of our consciousness. So we're going to sing this beautiful bhajan, Udilo Aruna. Udilo. If anyone can play harmonium, I don't know if anyone's expert here on harmonium. Chanda Gopal's not here, Grantham Gopal's not here. Anybody expert? I see a hand going up. Oh no, it's Priya Rani doing some sewing. You put your hand up. I thought maybe you go volunteering to play the harmonium. You're sewing, you know, your needle went up like this. Anybody? Brave? Well, I'll stop you after 2 seconds if you if you don't get it quite right. It might take a few rounds. It's a very simple tune. It's basically the same as Samsara Dava. Huh?
Which is the same as
Well, not the morning tune that we sing exactly, but the other one. Udila Purabhavagi. Give me 1 or 2 rounds before you start, because I have to go up or down. Dvijara mani jagi Udila Aruna Purabhavagi Dvijamani Gora Mani Vakata Samo Loya Sate Kilanagara Braje Tatai, tatai, Vajaloko Gana gana tahe jajeruro Tatai, tatai 2 beat. Preme dala dala sonara anga Charana nupara pache Preme dala dala sonara anga Charane nupara pache Mukunda madhava yadava hari Bolena bolare vadana bore kandana Niche niravaste kelore rati Divasa sarira saje Hemanagula manavadeo Payaki koro pavana keho Yasoda su Charane pori belage Charane pori Udilo. You're going the wrong way, boy. Hey, Udita tapano ileasta Dinagelo bole hoi bebiasta Disempana Dinagelo Tabe que no ebe ala soy Nabaje raje Nabajare doera Jivana nitya janahasa Kahena navida vipadapa Namastraya kori jatane tumi Sakana panakaje Kivera kalyana sadanakam Jagati Asiye Madhurana Avidyati Mera Tapana Rupe Vidgat Gane Biraje Krishna Nam Sudha Koriyapam Jurayo Pakati Vinoda Pran Nama Bina Kichunahi Koar Chauda Bhuvana Maje When a Pulilo Aruna Pura Babaji Dvijamani Gora Amani Jage Dilo Aruna Pura Babaji Dvijamani Gora Pakata Samvaloya Sate Kilanagara Braje Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yay, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki. So this is a literal translation of this beautiful song. When a tinge of red on the eastern horizon heralded the sunrise, the jewel of the twice-born, Lord Gaurasundar, immediately awakened, taking his devotees with him. He went all over the countryside, visiting the towns and villages of Nadia. Lord Chaitanya's mission, Pati Vitti Yati Yati Nagaradi Gram Savatra Pachora Hoibe Moranam. We have a long way to go. Literally a long way to go in terms of miles or kilometers, but we also have a long way to go in fulfilling the prediction or the desire of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that the holy name will be heard and chanted everywhere. Of course, we're not the only ones who are carrying the name. In this day and age, we could say other methods, very effective methods. George Harrison, for instance, propagated the holy name through records and then later on other forms of musical dissemination. Now we have the internet everywhere. Almost, I don't know numbers, but I would say the majority of people in the world are probably connected to some form of social media. Would that be correct? Even in the darkest jungles of Africa, I don't know if they've got internet or whatever it is you're supposed to have to get on these forms, but all mobile phones and so on are there. And in many cases, they'll come across the chanting of the holy name. Somewhere along the line, the holy name is there, but they may not chant it, but at least they may hear it. And they may, unknowingly, there's another form of spreading the name, of course, we know many ways the holy name appears in various words in our vocabulary. Even everywhere in the world, we see shops, for instance, we have a few in France, which include the holy name of Rama, Castorama. What's that other big one? Bricorama. Another one? Huh? Didn't hear it. Something Rama. Premarama? Huh? Comforama, thank you. Comforama, that's the one. Comforama is quite a famous store in France, Bricorama. So people don't know, but in this way, Lord Chaitanya's movement, in one sense, is spreading in different ways. And many words which are not necessarily words of, I've forgotten the English words for these things, but they're not necessarily the name of a store or the name of some place or whatever, Ramada Hotel. But they may be describing something else. Autorama, Laundorama, Sinorama, Sinorama, so many Ramas are there, especially Rama. We see all over the place. Hari also many, I don't know if the name Hari entitles one to Namabas when you say, what's your name? My name's Harry. Harry Potter. Everyone chants Harry Potter, right? Famous worldwide. I know that maybe there's some remote Namabas there involved. Something. Anyway, you could go on and on with this. It's all over the place. So another way that some or other people are unknowingly are reciting the name of the Lord. It's not with knowledge, it's not pure in one sense, but it's not with an intended offense either. So there's some benefit is there for sure. And others are chanting, it may be Namaparad, chanting, going on, which won't have a transcendental effect, at least not immediately, takes a longer time, but something is there. Prabhupada even says the Sahajas who are chanting, eventually their sentimental tears will lead to effective devotion, eventually. Takes a long time. Bahu Janma Kariyari Shravana Kirtana, Tabutana Paya Krishna Padi Premadana. Where's our Vishnu Janananda? He's not here. The verse he probably quotes the most, isn't it? This one. Every morning he chants this verse to all of us. If one continues to commit offenses while chanting, chants with offense, it'll take many lifetimes before, it doesn't have to, but it will if you carry on like that, before the change of heart takes place. It's not automatic. The holy name machine. The holy name is Krishna, who is receiving with us according to how personal we are with him. So here Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was requesting us to not say he's requesting, he himself is doing, he's going to the towns and villages of Navadvip, or Nadia, the state of Nadia, like we're here in Indra, however you pronounce it. We're here in one state of France, and Nadia is a state of Bengal. So the chanting of the holy name was going on everywhere. The mridungas resounded, tatai, tatai. The cymbals chimed in time. And Lord Gauranga's footbells jingled as his golden form trembled slightly in ecstatic love of God. It's a Sankirtan of Dungas and Kartals. Early morning they would go out, and you still see this sometimes. Sankirtan parties in India, going out at dawn, chanting the holy names around the neighborhood. Sometimes you still see this. Lord Chaitanya called out to the townsfolk. We don't advise you to do this, by the way, in Ikiye or Luce-Lamal. You might have some free accommodation for a few days. What did he call out? You spend your nights uselessly sleeping, and your days decorating your bodies. Now just fill your mouths with the vibration of the holy names, Mukunda, Yadava, Hari, chanting without offense. That's Lord Chaitanya's directive. Chant without offense. People were chanting, but with mundane intention for material reasons. Brahmins, smarter Brahmins, and the Shakta worshippers, they may also sometimes chant the name of Hari amongst all their other mantras, etc., but for purely material reasons. No, chant without offense. You have achieved the rare human body. We take it for granted, and we don't usually realize just how rare this opportunity is. Human birth. We just go about our lives like animals, thinking of how I can enjoy in this body, how I can get what my mind demands, or how I can protect myself from whatever. How I can satisfy the senses of this body. Most people's lives are based on these principles. If you do not serve, but this human life is very valuable, it's not meant, kamasya nendriya pratya labo jiveti yavata, jivasya tattva jignasanartha yasya karma bihi. Human life is not meant for that reason. It's meant for jivasya tattva jignas, it's meant for inquiry. We do inquire, but we don't inquire about the absolute truth. We inquire about how we can get sense enjoyment. Isn't it? Where I can find, a good place to eat. That's a common question. I had, during the marathon, someone was asking me, I can remember, it's some devotees from India. I met some devotees from London. That's right. Where can we find a good restaurant to eat in Paris? I didn't know what to say. I don't. Huh? It's not open. Middle of the day. They're looking for their lunch, and they want to eat lunch. There's no. I don't know what to say. There's no Govinda's restaurant in Paris. And yet that they already know. Many people from the past know. They're still asking. Well, and from foreign countries too. But even French people often ask, "Do you still have a restaurant in Paris?" And what's the big of devotees from other countries? Is there a restaurant or is there a temple? And the temple is like a bit too far for people who are looking for a lunch, and they're visiting the holy places of Paris. They're going on a pilgrimage at the Holy Tower and the Holy Arch and the Holy whatever museum and the holy nightclubs and everything else that's holy in Paris, and they don't want to have to go all the way out to Sarcelles on some crummy whatever and wait for lunch, and not God knows what they'll get for lunch, and they're looking for some restaurant, Hare Krishna, pure restaurant, nothing is there. So what to do? But they're asking questions. Where can I find this? How do I get here? Can you please tell me how to get to a toilet? Is there a toilet nearby? A common thing people may ask. So many people walking around. And they ask the devotees. Many people come up to me, can you help me to get here and there? So people are asking questions. And their questions are all about the body and the world around us. Not many people asking questions, who am I? As soon as you ask that question in their world, they'll lock you up. You don't know. This guy doesn't know who he is. We have to put him somewhere, you know.
I'm me.
Well, they may say that, but I mean, if someone literally is walking around, I don't know who I am, they're considered mentally crazy, basically speaking. Not really speaking, people aren't really asking that question in the real sense of the term. They may be asking, who are you? And what will you say? No, you don't, I mean, just imagine an ordinary person on the street, what will you say? Who are you? Same as you? I don't know if they'll say that. It's a little bit cynical, or a little bit, you know, why are you asking me that type of thing? What do you want to know for? Mind your own business. Some people say that. Who are you? And what will people say? Who are you?
They said their name.
Their name usually, that's usually, what's your name, or who are you? Maybe go a little further. Who am I? I'm a doctor. It usually refers to an occupation more than a name in many cases. Who are you? Yeah. Or it may describe where you're from. I'm a Christian, or it may describe your beliefs. Yeah. I'm a Christian. I'm an atheist. I'm a communist. Or whatever. So that's about as much as they know. They're not aware beyond that. The Lord Chaitanya wants us to wake up, don't remain idle. Each time the sun rises and sets, a day passes. Ayo harati vaipungsam reduces the life of everyone. Every moment. We forget, even we forget that. Huh? Every moment of our lives, time is passing away. When you're young-bodied, you may be thinking, oh my God, you know, I'm not getting what I want, you've got high expectations, but you're not necessarily so conscious of realizing the factor of the decay of the body. Not usually so much. And the body, when years pass by, you can see the sun is setting. You can see it setting there. You have to realizing that, you know, your time is numbered. So it's taking away, the sun's rising and setting is taking away the duration of life. Although in the Bhagavatam it describes, except for those who are taking shelter, those who are engaged in loving devotional service, it appears to be taking away our life, but it's not. The body may, of course, becoming old and whatever else happens at that stage, but in one sense, every day is fresh day, as we were hearing. Somebody put it somewhere, I was seeing it yesterday, some little clip of Srila Prabhupada talking about, you know, New Year, huh? Happy New Year. Someone, who was that the other day, said, what's happy about this New Year? They sent a card to someone, they wrote back, you know, why are you saying Happy New Year? There's nothing happy about my New Year. Didn't brighten them up very much. They were suffering. So Prabhupada said, actually for us, every day is a new year, every moment. Ever fresh. It's not like, you know, this is a new year. We're now starting afresh. I'm going to make some resolutions. We're going to have a fresh start. No, every moment for a devotee is like is ever fresh. Ever fresh. And the devotee is entering into you could say, the life of eternality. Then why do you remain idle and refuse to serve the Lord of the heart? You see, basically no one's interested in that. Understanding this essential fact, life is temporary and full of all kinds of miseries. Take shelter of the holy name as your only business. Seems like we have so many things to do. And missing the purpose of all, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, you know, all other sadhanas, and it can only be described as sadhana, in fact, he says, unless they help us to develop a taste for the holy name. Attraction for chanting. Otherwise, he said, they are impediments on the path of devotion. Impediments. Desiring to bless all souls, the sweet name of Krishna has descended to the material world and now shines like the sun in the sky of the heart, destroying the darkness of ignorance. Krishna is not a thing, it's Krishna. He's appeared. Krishna is all of his potencies, his sweetness, everything is contained or is present in the presence of Krishna and in the form of his name. Has come to Golokera Prema Dana Harinama Sankirtanam, that the holy name has descended from Goloka Vrindavan. It's not an ordinary sound vibration. Drink the pure nectar of the holy name of Krishna, and thus satisfy the soul of Bhakti Vinod. There is nothing but the holy name within all the 14 worlds. So he's looking at it from a perspective of transcendence in that sense. You could say, people would say, well, there's nothing. I mean, there's so many things in this world, but ultimately everything is an expansion of Krishna, and the name is Krishna. So in that sense, everything, there's nothing but the holy name. But the Lord's form of the holy name, by associating with that form, we can, by his grace, one can realize that there is nothing but the holy name, that there is nothing but Krishna everywhere. Krishna is everywhere. And he's also in our hearts. And he's also our eternal beloved, or our eternal friend, or our whatever. We have an eternal relationship with him. So the holy name has come to reciprocate like this. Whatever form of Krishna that we worship, he reciprocates. Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandara Bole. Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandara Bole. Kota Nidra Jayo Maya Pishachira Kole. Kota Nidra Jayo Maya Pishachira Kole. Bajibo Baliya Ese Samsara Vitare Bulia rohile tumi avidyara bare. Tomare loite ami oino avatara. Tomare loite ami oino avatara. Ami vina pando che ace tomar. Hene cheo sare maya nashibaro lage. Hare Nama Mahamantra Loto me magi. Hare Nama Mahamantra Loto me magi. Akati Vinoda Prabhu Sarane Pariya Bhakati Vinoda Prabhu Sarane Pariya Shri Hari Nama Mantra Laila Magiya Nama Mantra Laila Magiya Jeev Jago Gora Chandra Bole Kotane Jayo Maya Ishakira Kore Jayo Maya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Jai Shri Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Wake up sleeping souls ki jai. Jago. Jago. Sorry. My communication name is Jago. Wake up. Lord Gauranga is calling. Wake up, sleeping souls! Wake up, sleeping souls! You have slept so long in the lap of the witch Maya. Is Maya a witch? Normally the word witch. What's a witch? Rasananda is not here. You also were there?
I distribute to others.
Because Rasananda tells the story. Yeah, Dayantai will tell us what a witch is. What's a witch? Tell us the story from the... That wasn't from the marathon, though, was it?
Yeah. It's a strange personality lying on how you call it?
A broomstick.
Broomstick.
Okay.
And she flew to us to get a set of Srimad Bhagavatam.
She came on a broomstick.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And she brought her in her house and it was horrible.
She transported you to her house. Tell us the story. How did you meet her? This is Sankirtan's story.
I met her in Sankirtan in Lyon.
Lyon.
Time, and she said me that she in her dream she saw a strange form of half lion, half human. And I said, oh, this is the form of the Lord. His name is Nishingadev. And she started to tell me all her speculation about how she worshipped the
Ancestors?
She keeps the ashes of a cat and in her house. And one day she passed through the street and we was there doing book distribution and we had a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I said, oh, in these books you can have the story of this form of half lion, half human.
Half lion.
Half lion, half human. And she say, oh, I want it. And she say, can I get this? I say, yeah, you can buy this set of Srimad Bhagavatam. And she asked that we brought this set in her house. And when we arrived in her house, she said, I hope you are not allergic to cats. I have 8 cats in my house. When we arrived just in front of the apartment, not even entering in the apartment, was smelling. It was horrible. And we entered and there was cat everywhere jumping in the apartment, going out. This barket was a stool and pee, and it was horrible. And and after she said, can you bring the Srimad Bhagavatam in my library? And we brought the Srimad Bhagavatam there, and she started to speak. She said that here you can see there is some box where I keep the ashes of my previous cat who left their body, and there is also the ashes of my grandmother. I could keep the ashes, and I kept there, and she was I don't know, worshipping or keeping these ashes. And she said, so she took the Srimad Bhagavatam, she put on the table. I saw that in her library she had already a very old edition of Bhagavad Gita from Srila Prabhupada, actually.
Wow.
So she had already these books. Someone passed through here from old Sankirtan. And she gave us 50 euro, and she said, I will pay each month 50 euro.
Did she pay?
Yeah, she even called me on the New Year's to wish, how do you say, wish me
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Wow.
New Year. And the next time she called me, and I said, oh, maybe we'll not come to your house. Can we meet in the street? Since I came, I became allergic to cats. I cannot eat anymore. And she said, okay, we go to a bar.
A bar.
And she brought us with a lesson. And she said me, and your black Buddhist friend is coming with us, with you?
That's Rasananda.
I said, yeah, he's coming, the black Buddhist coming with me. And we met her in the bar. There was horrible music, and
I don't know if she's a witch, but she's certainly in the mode of ignorance, that's for sure.
I think something like this.
A witch by nature is someone who, they kind of like that a little bit. You know, they make this, they're called a cauldron. Cauldron, like a big pot, and they put things in the pot, you know. All kinds of things, leftovers of dead bodies and all sorts of things, lizards and stuff, and all kinds of things. They conjure up tricks, you know. Yeah, black magic. And then they cast spells, and people become bewildered. So Maya is a little bit like that. The material world, Yudhishthira Maharaj describes the material world like a witch's cauldron, in which there are all these things mixed in there, you know. We don't know anything else. We know what we say, norms, but in one sense it's like that, all bits and pieces, dead bodies, leftovers, this thing, that thing, all mixed together in the pot. And underneath the pot is fire. The fire, is said, is the rising and setting of the sun. It's like the heat. Heating it all up. Heating it all up. And then the spoons, stirring it, like the days and the nights were becoming stirred. And everything in that pot's getting cooked. And oftentimes they put live things in there too, not just dead ones. Everyone's being cooked alive by time in this pot that's called the material world. This is the only news of this world. Just how you're getting cooked, that's all it is. That's the only detail. getting cooked this way or you're getting cooked that way. But every living entity, everything in this universe is getting cooked. Like, he describes it like a witch's cauldron. And Maya is like the witch, bewildering us all to think we're the body, to think that I can enjoy in this pot, etc. So, but on a literal day-to-day basis, the witch-like persons, this area apparently was quite prominent with this in historical times. The witches, they spell trick, they cast spells on people to cause difficulty, black magic or whatever, like that. So the living entities have been, sitting in the lap of Maya. Maya's happy to let us go, but we don't want to. We're attached. There's that famous example Prabhupada would give one time, several times he may have mentioned it, but there was one king who was asking his ministers and his advisors, etc., explain why is it that we're so, Maya, is so strong, that we're so much affected by Maya, etc. To explain this clearly, why? But nobody could satisfy him. Then one old man came into the room, somewhere like a court. Somehow or another came in, he was blind. And he was stumbling everywhere, and people were telling him, get him out of here, what's he doing here? The king said, let him come forward. Let him come forward. And maybe he can speak something. So he came forward, and the king asked him the question, how is it that Maya keeps us so much entangled in this world? There never seems to be any way out. It seems like we're completely trapped. And he asked the question, the man didn't say anything. He started stumbling across the floor, tripping because he's blind. And he bumped into a tree in the courtyard. He bumped into the tree and grabbed the tree with his arms and started screaming, "Let me go! Let me go!" Everyone started laughing. What a fool the guy is. But the king was a little bit thoughtful. And he had a realization. It's not Maya that's keeping us. It's us. That we're attached to Maya. And we're saying, why am I suffering like this? Well, I want to get out of here. But we don't. We're still attached to Maya. We're attached to the tree and blaming the tree for, whatever. But it's our own responsibility. Maya is willing to let us go, but first we have to be willing to let go of Maya, or illusion. So this Lord Chaitanya is saying here, you've been sleeping in that lap of the witch called Maya. You don't want to let go, do you? Wake up! You came into this world of birth and death, saying, my Lord, I will certainly worship you. You make your New Year resolution. I will chant 16 attentive rounds every day. And that's the end of that. You came into this world of birth, and my Lord, I will worship you. But you have forgotten this promise and remained in great ignorance. I have descended just to save you. Except for me, who is your friend? No one's really a friend of anyone in this world. Krishna is Suridam Sarvabhutam. He's a friend of everyone. But no one's a real friend in this world. Everyone's just educating us how to stay in the prison house of the material world. A friend is one who helps release you from the prison, not one who simply tries to make your life comfortable in the prison or encourages you to engage in activities which will cause more suffering. I have brought the medicine to eradicate the disease of illusion. Now pray for this Hare Krishna Mahamantra and take it. Bhakti Vinod fell at the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga, and after begging for the holy name, he received that Mahamantra. You have to beg. Beggars of the holy name. It's not just a matter of a repetition with the tongue, but the real presence of Krishna. We're eager to get his association in the form of Nam Prabhu. Okay, it was getting late. Hare Krishna, you must take your breakfast. And if you are able, come back in the temple room whenever to carry on with hearing and chanting Shravanam Kirtanam. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Chaitanya's Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Brihat Madanga ki jai. Goa Premanandi.
Janananda Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Hind. When can we get together? Are you free?
Yes, I was going to.